Welcome to day 2. How's things? How you doing? Areas of my life have gone well today, but prioritizing drying my hair has not been the one. I also feel like I'm in washing madness today. We're planning another trip away and yeah, everything's all over the shop. Anyway, you can't see that because I'm talking to you with the camera this way, but maybe you are the same. So day 2, hey, let's begin, shall we? Yesterday, I talked about this feeling of it being time. And I feel really passionate about this because I am a child of the 80s, a teenager of the 90s. And so often people told us that we weren't ready. You know that feeling of like, you'll be ready when you lose half a stone. You'll be ready when you meet the love of your life. You'll be ready. You'll be whatever. All these things in the distance. And many of those things you can't control. And many of those things are not relevant to whether you can make moves or not. So I know that it's not the perfect time for many of us to do these huge, big projects. So I spoke about it on the podcast and there's a video as well about how I'm sustaining things over this time because kids are on holiday, kids are at home, everybody's doing their best and finding a way. But I also know that at this time of year, I am often in different environments. And when I'm in different environments, different conversations, I get really inspired. It's almost like all of my senses turn up really, really brightly. And I have a sense of what's going on. Like, oh, I'm going to do more of that. Or like, for example, the other day, rather than a few months ago, we went to a friend's in Kent for a barbecue and it was so lovely. And I just came away. I mean, it's not kind of profound or life-changing, but I just was like, I really love spending time with my friends. I need to spend more time with my friends. And it's those sorts of moments at this time of year where we're getting so many clues as to what we need, what we want, what's going on, etc. So day 1, which is on my YouTube channel, if you want to go and check it out, I gave you a analogy, a visual of a radio, like tuning things in. And it's really good for us to do that in our bodies, in our lives, in our businesses, and really tune in. And sometimes when you begin that tuning process, it can become a bit squeaky, or maybe you don't get the answer immediately, or maybe it's like, I want to know the answer. I don't want to go through all this tricky thing. But if you can stick with it, it's going to be great because it's going to give you lots of answers. So hopefully after yesterday, and I've got my gold book, which gives even better lighting to this tired face, I gave you that analogy. Today, I want to talk about the findings that you had when you had a little look around. And this is something, again, that can come and pop into your head whenever you need it. And we're talking about the old and the outdated. Now, it doesn't have to be, right, everything has got to go and only things that I've purchased in the last year get to stay. Not at all. You can't see it here again because it's full of washing, but we've got an amazing brown chair in this window here. And I don't know how old it is, but I love the fact it's got that sort of brown, buttery leather and it's amazing. So we're not talking about old. We're talking about things that just feel not in alignment with where you are right now and where you're going. And for me, this is a very important part of the process. And I often think that you have to begin the process of making space for stuff before stuff comes in. So I've told this story so many times, but when I was, how old was I? 33, 34, 2015, I just had Oscar. And I had never sat on our sofa as much as I did. You know those first months of having a baby, or maybe you don't, but you end up sitting down a lot on your sofa. And I never realised until that moment how flippin' uncomfortable our sofa was. It was a second-hand one. My dad had passed it on to us. You know, we were very grateful for it at the time. And very quickly I thought, I can't sit on this sofa for much longer. It's awful. However, buying a new sofa was not a priority at that time, especially with a young and brand new baby. But in my head, I begun to make space for the sofa. And sometimes even just making those shifts and doing that work is going to give you some clues. Here's what I mean. I begun to go on Pinterest. I begun to go on sofa websites. We went into town with the buggy. I mean, that felt really brave anyway, but we went to Tottenham Court Road and like wandered up and down all the furniture shops. We sat on things, we measured our space, we considered what things would have to go in order to get the sofa that we wanted. And it was bizarre how quickly those initial moves and the making of the space brought in the money for the sofa. Because all of a sudden we were focused on it. We were doing all of these things and it shifted it up the priority list. So today, I want you to think about, and maybe you're doing this whilst you're wandering around, whether that's in your living room or your kitchen. Maybe you are in your car. Maybe you're in your wardrobe, well, not in your wardrobe, like looking inside your wardrobe. And I want you to think about what is old and what is outdated. And this is not just limited to physical stuff. In fact, there are so many other ways that we can do this. I am looking, especially when I'm looking at making a change or I'm opening up possibilities of going to the next level. I'm looking at ways that I can shake up my environment. I'm looking at ways that I set myself up for success. So the way that I start my day, the way that I end my day, the habits, the behaviors, the traits that I'm bringing in. Often when I know that I'm going to the next level, when some shift is happening, I have to pay very close attention to my words. And in the UK, over the last few weeks, it feels like it's rained all of the time. And if I'm not careful, I will get into a weather chat with anyone and everyone who will listen because people want to have it with me as well. And I've come to the conclusion, talking about the weather doesn't actually interest me. In fact, when people do, I begin to switch off and I get distracted and I think, oh, have you got anything else to say? Like, there's so many other things that we could discuss. And so I have to be careful when I'm lining things up to go to that next level to make sure that my phrases and the way that I'm operating in the world are in alignment with that. There are other things that you can do as well. Things that you might notice, things that you see all of the time. So it could be your bedside table. You could have all kinds of stuff on there, as I frequently do, until I tidy it up and I go, right, no more. Maybe it's your desk. My desk is really cluttered at the moment. I need to clean that up. Maybe it's old WhatsApp groups that you're not participating in, but yet they keep pinging on your phone. Take some time to archive things. Maybe it's apps on your phone. Maybe it's what you see on your desktop as soon as you open it. Maybe you need to spend half an hour on your emails, just clearing them out, putting them in a filing system and making space for the things that you want. I know so often for my clients, it's this sense of, well, I want it now. I want to speed up the process. And so these practical things, making space, are great ways that you can speed up the process. Also, when you do that and when you're part of that, it tricks your brain into thinking that you are making moves. And you are physically clearing the space. And you can't, and again, going back to the sofa analogy, we knew that we would have to get rid of things in order to make space for it. Because otherwise, if we just brought a sofa in there, we wouldn't be able to sit on it in a nice way. It would feel really cluttered and we wouldn't get the full enjoyment from it. So that is your challenge today, your exercise. I would love to know what's working for you, what comes up when I say all of these things, and maybe you want to leave a comment about the moves that you have made today. As always, I would love to hear. I will see you tomorrow, and look out also for an event that I'm doing. I'm launching something in September, so if you want some help with that back to school thing, and you've seen this, just DM me and I'll send you the link when it's live. Otherwise, if you want to get stuff up and running, go to my work with me page, nickyraby.com/work with me. There are so many different ways that I can help you really get your online presence online, so you can do all of the things that you want to. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, for being part of this, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I'll let you know the time when I do. It's probably going to be in the afternoon because I'm traveling in the morning. So yeah, that's it. Have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye.